welcome back to the regular exclusive podcast. And you know what? Today we are starting the countdown to Scary Movie.
Already.
The Scary Movie 6? Because there was
Yeah.
a fifth one that we don't talk about, right?
Yeah, but it's like technically has to count. So we're talking about Scary Movie 6 coming out right at the beginning of June next month. And it's just called Scary Movie, though, if you look it up. It doesn't have the 6 in it. They're kind of doing what Halloween and Scream did. So it's okay that you messed it up. But we're going to be talking about, for the opener for the next few weeks, we're going to be talking about the OG Scary Movie, starting with the first one, second one, going through the first 4, not the fifth one, like we said, we do not mention, but leading up to the new one because we're that excited. So we decided to revisit them. And this week, we're just going to spend a few minutes here talking about Scary Movie, the OG from 2000, which is 26 years ago. That's crazy.
This movie, like, I don't think Scary Movie was the first parody, but the Scary Movie, in my mind, created the genre of movie parodies. And because it got so big, it got so huge that like people tried to do it again, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't work. But like the first 4 Scary movies are so pure and perfect for the genre of parody. And
100%.
This was so fun to go back and rewatch because it's like a time capsule of like the early 2000s.
It really is. All of the Scary movies, I feel like they really tap into the times extremely well. So there's just a lot of things that are just so early 2000s in all of them. And in different ways. And obviously the first 2 are the ones that the Wayans brothers were a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fucking Weinsteins, yes, that Weinstein, Harvey, they of course screwed them out of the third one, took their idea, and then got a new team, which I will say 3 and 4 is really funny, but I miss them for those ones. So I'm so like, I think going back to the first one and second one is always my favorite. Even though I love the other ones and they're like PG-13, they're still really funny and everything.
Mm-hmm.
They're almost as good, but the first 2 just are on another level. And this one especially because it's like the perfect mashup of Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer.
It's really the Kevin Williamson parody movie because they cover because they cover Scream 1, Scream 2, and I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, right?
Yeah. And they cover also
there's mentions of a lot of other movies, but
Scream 3 though. Also, they have a little at the end when Shorty's making the video about how to rob the liquor store and all the rules. It's like like the Jamie Kennedy's character makes for the third one that they watch after he sadly passes in Scream 3. So they really nailed everything. But yeah, there's so many references, and then I feel like I had to look it up because the one that I also remember from this time period that was like really formative for at least I feel like our generation, millennials, was Not Another Teen Movie.
Yeah.
And that was a very good parody, but instead of like obviously horror films, it was parodying teenage films and was definitely on the same level, I would say. But I still think Scary Movie is funnier, but that came out 2001.
Yeah.
And Scary Movie came out 2000. So
well, there's been great parodies since then. Like first one that comes to mind is The Other Guys, Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg.
Great one.
Maybe the last great Mark Wahlberg movie, but
I think so.
Just like a parody of cop movies it's perfect. But yeah, so back on this one. I mean, I think the most important thing that they had to do in this is they had to nail the opening scene, which they do. Because like Scream is one of the most iconic opening scenes ever with Drew Barrymore, and they replace her with Carmen Electra.
And everything that she does is like the exact opposite of what she should do. They just nail all the little things of like, you know, here's all the weapons, and then she grabs the banana. Or it's like, you know, when she trips and falls, and it's like, oh, she falls right onto where like the chalk outline of the body was. Or it's like certain danger or like certain death or like, you know, safety. And she runs right towards that.
when he stabs her, he stabs the implant. Like,
Yeah. Like, it's just so good. The it's so funny because obviously it's the same the same production company, Dimension
yeah,
and the Weinstein. So they own Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer, I believe. So like that's why I was like, if they didn't own those films, there's no way they could make this film because they literally lift like the script from both movies. Like there's so many lines and like exact even replicas of the sets and all that. It's just so great though, because they parody it sometimes without even like having to exaggerate like the dialogue. They don't change it. They just do the exact same fucking scene that like Nev Campbell has to do. And then like they just exaggerate it with like the way that
yeah,
Cindy runs a little bit.
yeah,
Or they add in that line about the Spice Girls, which really hit with their like, it's just funny little shit like that. Or like, what are you waiting for? That's probably one of my favorite things that they parody in this movie. And it's like making fun of obviously Jennifer Love Hewitt in I Know What You Did Last Summer when she's yelling that, and it's an iconic shot in that movie, but it is silly and it's just such a horror movie thing. And then the fact that like there's the guy on the roof ready to commit suicide, and then she's just, "What are you waiting for?" And then he's like, "What am I waiting for?" And then he just jumps, and it's like it's so good. Like just everything in this movie, and like there's so many fucking gross out gags though that
yeah.
I always like. I mean, the like Miss Man and, like, the
Oh my
pet that goes,
god,
"Oh my
Miss
god."
Man.
Like, Jesus fuck. Lots of that. Lots of, like, little shriveled penises, like, the little tiny dick shots.
Yeah,
I just feel like still I don't know about you, but what hits for me and Nolan when we watch this the most is the part when they're getting rid of the body, and they're doing the I Know You Did Last Summer
yeah,
parody, and they have the fucking guy, the blonde dude who's being Ryan Felipe from I Know What You Did Last Summer and like choking Cindy out like
yeah.
he does to Jennifer Love Hewitt. And it's so goddamn funny because he's like obviously he goes extreme with it, but it's like he's not even that much over the top compared to the way
Yeah.
Ryan Felipe does it. And for us, I still think that's like the funniest bit of the movie to us whenever we watch it. It's just my favorite part because it's just so fucking good.
Oh, it's
What
hilarious.
about you? Is there something that like is still gonna be your favorite scene from this?
I mean,
It's hard
there,
to pick.
there's a lot, but I'd I I love the clip of when all the reporters are at the school, and then it's like panning across the reporters and the different bands, and then it's the black reporting crew. They're like,
Yeah.
white people are dying. We're getting the fuck out of here.
So fucking good. That shit is incredible. Honestly, there's so many things or I feel like I still say all the time, "Run, bitch, run."
Yeah.
Shorty is just on another level in this movie. Everything he says is my favorite. The way that he chills and hangs out with the killer is what I aspire to be if I
Oh,
were ever to be caught in like a slasher film. I'd
I
be like, "Yo, yo, yo, don't kill me. Come here, smoke a little bit of this. Fucking like, let's hang." You know?
or like we get the amazing was up scene, which
Mhm.
like it's crazy to think that that moment is making fun of a Budweiser commercial from like 99 or something. And it's like
Mhm.
I can't imagine like a commercial nowadays being like so iconic that it makes its way into a
Yeah,
parody because
that's
like
a good point. We've
everyone's
lost
so
that in our
split up
culture.
in what we're watching now. Like we don't get
Yeah.
the consistency of the ads. Like there's amazing advertisements now, but it's like everyone only sees the same ads during the Super Bowl. Like that's
I
kind
feel
of
like, yeah, the things that we just see are like everyone making fun of all the different prescription drug ads because of their
it.
crazy
Yeah,
names and like the weird ass songs. It's like get out of here. Um, I feel like we've totally lost that as a culture of having like commercials referenced because they also do that in Scary Movie too, which we'll be talking about next week with
yeah.
the like Nike commercial.
Nike. Yeah,
But it's like these kind of bits to me have like outlived the original inspiration, which
yeah,
is something that like Nolan and I were literally just talking about because we were rewatching that like what you say bit from
yeah,
fucking SNL when they parody the OC. We're like, you watch the OC, and then it's like now the parody is like 1,000 times more famous than the original thing that it was inspired by. And those are some of my favorite bits. We don't have a lot of that anymore because it's like very specific moments that like we as a culture could all agree on or had like participated in originally. But like now it's like you could never get everyone to agree on a fucking show
Yeah.
that we could all watch and talk about at the same time. Like it just wouldn't happen,
Yeah.
especially something like the OC.
Yeah.
I mean, and I watched that scene again out of context and I was like, that's editing is still really insane. With that music choice and the cuts, it's just, but by the way, the guy who gets killed and shot in that scene is Logan Marshall Green.
Oh my
I just
God.
discovered that. I watched it last night. Is the other reason I meant to bring it up to you. But like, holy fuck, he's gorgeous. But I didn't notice him at first because he's like the one making that fucking stupid face when he gets shot and like the close-ups. And I was like, I didn't recognize him. But oh my God, it's him.
That's
So
hilarious.
funny. But anyways, like things like that, you know what I mean? This movie is honestly like for like Nolan, and I feel like probably a lot of people, maybe even younger than us, it's like you see this before you see the movies that it's referencing, even. So it's
Oh yeah,
almost
that
like,
was the case for me
yeah,
because
like,
like I didn't start watching horror movies when I was 10 years old. Like
yeah. I mean, I didn't, but like I knew of them in the culture. Like I guess my parents did let me see things that
thi-
I was traumatized early. I guess you're
this
right.
this first movie is a total Gen X movie. Like Was Up is a core Gen X joke. And then I feel like millennials, we adopted it with Scary Movie 2 and then 3 and 4. Like millennials love those ones. And then so we adopted the first one a little bit later after it came out, when we
That's
became
true.
teenagers.
Well, I honestly, I feel like I watched Scary Movie 1 and 2 way too young. Like I feel
Oh,
like you're right.
yeah,
Like I
for sure.
definitely watched these before because they're like, I mean, there's so much, there's lots of nudity and violence in them. They're like pretty like gory. Like
Oh,
it's pretty
the
great.
girl in the locker room who like
Yeah,
breaks her own
Shannon
leg and
Elizabeth.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, gets her head chopped off and she's still talking and everything. I mean, it's just there's a lot. But as a kid, I was like this, but they're laughing, so this is okay. I think I don't know. I guess maybe
Yeah.
I'm traumatized. I have no idea, but it still is. I think you're right. Like this one definitely is a little bit more like a little more Gen X than Scary Movie 2. It's probably a better mix because it hits
Yeah.
a little bit of both. Because it is kind of based on like older kind of haunted house movies.
Yeah.
So I think like once we get to like Scary Movie 3, that's 100% more like full millennials that
Yeah.
are like this is the movie that I really like, and I can see why other people aren't as into it. But we'll talk about those, when we get to them. But like,
I
yeah,
I I I did also want to bring up, speaking of Kevin Williamson being the core of this,
yeah,
I totally forgot about the James Vanderbeek cameo
yeah,
at Dawson's Creek. So it's like
yep.
we have the holy trinity of Kevin Williamson.
Literally, it was so good. I was like, I'm sure that it was like that. I don't know why, if that was 100% the reason, but it was just delightful. And he's like, wrong set.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I would love if that was just a continuing bit in all of the movies, if he just had him pop up. And
Uh,
now, sadly, we can't. R.I.P.
yeah.
But
R.I.P. Also,
that was great.
I was really I totally forgot, but like when they do the Scream 2 opening
Yeah, with
thing
with Brenda.
with Brenda, I that urinal situation, I was like, if any club actually made that, like
Where you're pissing
got
in like it's like horse racing
yeah,
because of
it's
like how
like the
much you're
carnival
peeing.
game. I was like,
Yeah,
guys would lose their mind. That would be the greatest thing ever.
I know. Honestly, I've always thought that. I'm like, when I was a kid, I was like, that really bummed me out because I just assumed that maybe that was like that in certain men's bathrooms. I was like, that's cool. They get to play games in there. We could never do that.
Yeah.
Like, it just would never be a thing, right? But that would be
Also,
cool. You could do
also
it, Jace. You could start the first bar with it and make it real for
that's the
everybody.
whole draw. Our food sucks, our drinks suck, but you
You
can
don't want the food and drink. All you need is like water because you're gonna
yeah,
want to spend the rest of the night in the bathroom. That's where it's at.
we
Get my
don't
drinks in there.
we don't charge for drinks, we don't charge for food, we charge to use the bathroom.
Yeah,
That's the
$5.
entire revenue stream.
Honestly, revenue
Yeah,
stream.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
good. Jace, I think we just came up with a new business plan, new business idea. That was great. But for real, I think overall, like this movie just coming out with such a bang and hitting all of these movies and tropes on the head, which is crazy because like Scream technically hits a lot of this stuff first, but like they just do it even more extreme and even making fun of Scream, which is
Yeah.
great. And it's just incredible. And I think all the characters are so good in this. And like but I personally like I can't wait to talk about the second one because I think that is ultimately my favorite. But I still quote this movie like all the time and think
Yeah.
about it
Oh, yeah.
on the regular.
I feel like we have to end this conversation with, I think, the most challenging part of
The
rewatching this
upcoming. Oh,
is Doofy.
I was gonna say we can't not talk about Doofy because
Do-
Doofy's the best part.
Doofy is so fucking funny. Like the whole like when he has the vacuum, he's like, "Don't disturb me when I'm cleaning my room."
My
And
room.
it's like-
Yeah.
but it's like it's one of those things that until you see the end of the movie, and also when you understand that they're referencing the usual suspects,
Yes.
like this looks like a very offensive like character that they've written, but it's like, no, this is the long con. This whole movie they are referencing the usual suspects and that crazy twist ending.
It's just that like Doofy isn't sitting around telling the cops this story, like narrating it throughout, basically. So like you don't know, but like the ending music isn't that even exactly the same music
Yeah,
that they use.
like
Okay. Yeah. So it's pretty funny that they like honestly, I think you're right. Like the way that they pull it off weirdly, it like comes across like, okay, that's actually brilliant.
yeah,
But it's like it does seem like when you rewatch it, you're like, man, this is tough. But also, I'm like,
it's so funny.
I don't care. I think it's the funniest shit
It,
ever. And the fact that they're bringing him back and doing it again is my favorite. Like when they're like, he's like, when they're like, oh, smell my fingers. He's like, what's that? My ass.
my ass.
So good. Everything he does and says is just great. And like when they're like, oh, just like he just like shit in his pants. He's like, maybe it's change your pants, son. Just the way everyone treats him, just like, oh my
Oh,
God. He's great. And the fact, honestly, I think the best part about Doofy is I think he's like maybe the funniest part of this movie overall. And like the best parody element, because like as much as I love David Arquette as I mean,
yeah,
in general, but also in the Scream franchise. And I don't think Officer Dewey is Doofy, but like that is like the best and the funniest fucking joke you could make about him
yeah.
in a movie like this, and it works really well because of like just the way that he acts. Like you're like it's not that far off. That's what's so great about it.
Yeah.
It's just honestly, it's so good that like as much as like the second one's incredible, it is missing the Doofy element. He's like a magic thing in this movie.
He really is, and
I hope they don't ruin it in the new one, but I don't think that they will.
I think that's where like the second one really stands out at like as my favorite because like all the characters are really like established, and they kind of do the South Park thing where they're like, oh yeah, Brenda died in the last movie, but she's just back, she's alive.
Every single movie, that's how it goes, and I just love that. Like they even have a funeral in the third one, and then like the fourth one, she's like, "I thought you died," and Brenda's just like, "Oh, girl, I thought you died too."
But yeah, like
Oh, are you kidding?
the
We had
second
a
one,
funeral.
everyone is funnier than they were in the first one,
Yeah,
and also the supporting cast
yeah, it gets even bigger
just
and crazier.
unbelievable. So
Yeah.
can't wait to talk about the second one next week.
Yes. But yeah, if you haven't watched either of them, I'm pretty sure they're all streaming right now. I would imagine leading up if they know what they're doing. Let's see. If you can watch Scary Movie 2, let's see if it's streaming. It is on Paramount Plus, so you're okay there.
Nice. Yeah, highly recommend because
Yeah, it looks like they got them all on there. And so you don't have to watch 5, obviously, like we mentioned. Like, just needed to remind you here. Just skip that one. It didn't happen.
You don't need to watch
it.
superhero movie. You don't need to watch disaster movie.
No. Date movie is like very shitty, but like some funny parts, but like most of them are just not worth it. So we'll be talking about Scary Movie 2 next week.
All right. Well, let's take a little break and talk about Ready or Not. Here, is it Here We Come? Here I Come. I know. Here We Come.
No, it's Here I Come.
You've caused quite a stir, Mrs. Ladomas. You married into that family. Now they're dead. What you didn't know is that this goes far beyond them. By surviving hide and seek, you've triggered a new game. This time against the High Council families. Double or nothing.
This part will be familiar.
They will try to kill you.
Welcome to our home.
Hunters, may the best family win.
Skippy screams.
The game begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm not playing.
Okay. Prunella, kill the sister.
No! God damn it! Don't hurt her!
Whoever wins runs everything.
Everything?
The world.
Can't believe you dragged me into this shit.
It's exciting. Well, exciting for me. It's terrifying for you.
Clear.
All right, let's talk about Ready or Not. Here I Come, the sequel that we have been waiting for since 2019. And you know, I'm okay with waiting because we got 2 really good Scream movies out of it.
Yeah, honestly, that's not a bad price to pay in the grand scheme of things. Plus,
And
it worked
Abigail.
out.
So
Yeah, I was gonna say Abigail also led us here because we have Catherine Newton with Samara Weaving, which is an inspired mashup.
incredible addition. I mean, the whole cast of this movie,
Yeah.
like they really leveled up the budget and they brought in some powerhouse people. Like in the first one, there's some recognizable people like Adam Brody, Andy McDowell, but like just
Mhm.
watching the
They leveled
trailer,
up here.
yeah, watching the trailer for this one, I'm like, oh shit, they're bringing everybody in on this. Like,
Mhm. 100%.
before we really dive into this, I thought this was a good opportunity to talk about like sequels and what do we look for in a sequel? Like, you know, what, because there's like the first thing that I think of is like I look for something that expands the story, just doesn't tell the same story again. Like first one that comes to mind is Jurassic Park. And not the Spielberg trilogy. I'm talking about really everything after, but it always comes back to mutations and hybrids and them going back on the island. Like it's not really a different story that we're getting. It's not really
They
expanding.
haven't found a unique way back into that story or that like universe. I agree 100% with you. I was gonna say like something to me that I think of as like one of the best and just agree. I think the more I rewatch it, I think strongly it's like the best of the 3. But Pirates, Dead Man's Chest.
Yeah.
Is that the one? Right? Yeah, with Davy Jones.
Yeah.
I think it like ups the trilogy in like a whole new direction, makes it way scarier, introduces maybe one of the greatest villains of all time, and just like the action, the set pieces. There's never a dull moment. That whole movie is just amazing. It
And
feels like the Two Towers or something.
And I'm also not sure if we've ever had a better CGI than Pirates of the Caribbean 2.
That was
Like
really peak CGI. So I think Dead Man's Chest is really like, to me, like that was an unexpected way to go for the sequel. I was not expecting them to really lean into the horror. I should have, with like knowing the director was Gore Verbinski, but back then I wasn't aware. So I was very shocked when I saw it, very traumatized by the Kraken and Davy Jones. But the more I rewatch him as an adult, I'm like, this is just great fucking cinema.
Yeah. And
So
I think that reminds me of like another thing that I really look for is I don't want the same story to be told in a sequel, but there has to be a consistency of like tone and style.
mhm,
Like it, I feel like there's some examples of like where they do a real hard pivot and it works, but I feel like more often than not that doesn't work. So like keeping that same kind of visual, that flair that the original had is really important. And it's like
mhm,
we see it not work so well with like movies where the directors change, but like this is the
mhm,
same directors. But like a example that I was really impressed with was recently was the Bone Temple 28
mhm.
years later. Like totally different director, but like they
Yeah.
they kept that same kind of visual aesthetic and tone to it.
It felt different and unique, but still within the franchise and part of the universe, and that's and a continuation of the story that was started in the first 28 years later. So like I agree with you. That's another great one. And it's like, but there are so many that can go bad and be like, just the worst. Like, I mean, there's more that are bad, I would say, than good. Like, we all love The Hangover, but then it's like when you see the second movie, you're like, well, it's kind of funny, but like they just do the same thing, but in Thailand. It's
Yeah.
literally the exact same plot. And then you're like the third one, and it's like that one's even more forgettable somehow. And they go back to Vegas because they're fully out of ideas. And it's just disappointing because you're like, sometimes it is just like that one story and it really doesn't demand to have anything else. You're just like, I just want to hang out with the characters more, which is really just us being selfish as the audience. Just
Yeah.
rewatch the movie, right? Because like, it's like there's so many iconic films that like you try to capture that magic again, and like you said, different director, like the difference between Jaws and Jaws 2 or Jaws 3 or Jaws the Revenge. Like they just you can't do it again. There's no way to capture the magic. Jurassic Park and Jaws are both cursed by Spielberg. If he makes your first movie, this franchise has no legs. It's just not going to be able to recover, Like it's never going to be on that quality. But there's a lot of them that like I think it's not like always that you have to do something totally unique and whatever, but it's that if you're continuing the same story or doing a similar setup, like it still has to add to the overall like lore or like storyline or bigger picture, right? If you're not really changing up the whole thing, if you're not
Yeah.
doing something totally different, it's got to add to something that'll be built up for the third one or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or just in general, just expanding the world so that it's like more you're learning more about it.
Yeah. Or it's like if you have movies like we've talked about, like Dune and like Nolan's Batman trilogy, like the first movie in both of those are their world building movies where like they establish the characters, they establish the places, the stakes and
Mhm.
stuff. And then the second movie comes out and they're like, all right, we don't have to explain shit. We're just flying forward.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, sequels can be a lot of things, but like there's very specific things of like what makes a bad sequel. And to bring all that around, Ready or Not 2 is a great sequel. Like
Yeah.
it
It's
it's what
exactly what you want.
it's one of those movies that I first when I finished Ready or Not, I'm like, please don't give me a sequel. Like the first movie is great. Like I
Yeah.
love it just being this single story. So when they announced a sequel, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want this, but I trust in radio silence. And everyone came back. So I'm like, I have hope for it. And it landed. It's not as good as the first one, but this is a very, very good sequel.
I can't decide. I mean, I love both of them, but I really think this one is on the same exact level for me. But the cast and all of those additions really just there's so much more to it that like I mean, I want another one. I want 5 more, honest. I really love that like all the lore and stuff that we learn about like this whole the Baal society shit and like worship and this cult that runs the fucking world and all the like the top families and the high seat and like it's just really great shit. And I was like normally I feel like oh they're just going to explain everything way too much where we don't need to hear all that and it's going to be like that's always my worry, is that it's not going to be interesting or scary anymore because they tell you everything. But it's not like everything was super scary in the first place. It was just like, this is a weird, mysterious cult. And like the fact that they play games to like murder you is like so interesting. And so the way that they like expand on that and have like the lawyer character, I think it's just like, it's so great because it adds more mystery, but it answers questions, but it doesn't do it too much. Like there's still stuff that like we could have more movies explaining more stuff. Like I would
Yeah.
love to learn more.
Yeah, or we could even have like prequel movies.
Exactly. There's all these
Spin-off.
different things.
Because that's like the one thing I agree with you, that they expand the lore really well. They expand the world. Before it was just a rich family and a house on a wedding day, and then this is like, oh, this is much bigger than just one family, and like how they do it. And then Elijah Wood as the lawyer, who's he's represents LaBelle, but he's not actually a member. He's like, he never made a deal with LaBelle. Like he didn't die at the end like everyone else.
I have questions about him when we get to the end because I want to be like, I mean, he's my favorite.
But
I'm like, does he also steal this movie as Elijah Wood?
The one like question that I was thinking the entire time was, okay, I get the family in the first one, they were game makers. And so like, that's why they play the game. But then all these other families that get brought in, I'm like, what's the deal that they made? Like, what's because they can't all just be game makers. Like they all seem like they're in different industries and like different leaders of different things.
So they must have something tied to that, because that's what I was wondering. So like, no wonder these guys aren't good at playing like this hide and seek game, because it's like clearly their families don't have to do that. They might have to hunt in different ways. Who knows what the fuck they're up to? But that's what I thought. I agree. I think it's cool that like all these different ones have their own like unique deals, but it's not like, so it's kind of still personal in a way. But I love the fact that it's like this larger network of all of them, and they never really meet. So it's like, but it's like the dad in the bed, like, oh, approve the ceasefire. And it's like on the news, breaking news. Which, by the way, Sarah Michelle Gellar's, like her and Titus, that's his name, her brother. Titus. So good.
Sean Hennessy.
Yes, he's amazing. And and Ursula, Titus and Ursula are just perfect names for like rich asshole people.
Sorry, I have to correct myself. I said Sean O'Hennessy. That's incorrect. My wife is obsessed with him. It's Sean O'Haddassy.
Oh, sorry.
She will get mad if I screw up his name, because he is everywhere. He's from the pit.
Oh, I know who he is. He's, what he is originally from. This is a reunion with him and Elijah Wood, because they starred in a little movie called The Faculty together in high school.
Oh.
And he plays like the jock who doesn't want to be a jock. He's like, I want to like actually, I'm going to quit football and like, try to do something else that maybe like I'm not good at, but I just want to learn and then not be treated so well. And it's like, wow, what a unique character. And he does a really good job. He's actually a good guy in that. So to see him play such a bad guy in this, I was like, wow. And I've heard that he does that on a lot of other things now. So that's more what he's known for.
He is truly evil in this movie. Like,
oh yeah. He doesn't start that way, and you think he's kind of just a big dumb idiot, but there's something like off about him. And then like once he like shows you that other side, you're like, oh, I legit was like chilled to the bone.
Dude, when Samara Weaving and the jealous ex are having their fight scene, and then like that's parallel to Titus beating the shit out of Catherine Newton. I was like, this is jarring. Like this is a fun girl fight. They're both blind from Mace. They're playing Total Eclipse of the Heart.
It was very funny scene. And then you cut back to that. Yeah.
And then Titus is just brutalizing. I was like, oh my God.
Literally, it was a lot. And he like, it's like almost like his eyes went black once he got like full, like he really leaned into it. And I was like, oh, this guy's terrifying. Like he really is. Like I'm nervous what he's gonna do. And I'm like, obviously I don't think they're gonna kill Catherine Newton right away, but like, fuck, I thought maybe he was I was like, if he was beating me up like that, I would be dead 5 minutes ago.
If Sarah Michelle Gellar hadn't stepped in, he was gonna kill her. Like,
yeah,
that's one of those moments where I'm like, I think she might die. Like, I don't think there's plot armor.
I was like, I mean, that's gonna be some crazy shit like from Scream 6 when like Chad, what's his face? When Chad gets like stabbed, like fucking, is that his name in the movie? The
I can't
fucking
remember.
the guy in the core 4. It's Chad, I think.
Yeah.
But either way,
Oh yeah,
God,
The
yeah. And
twin.
he gets stabbed like fucking by 2 different ghost face like 6 times down
Yeah.
the chest, like in puncturing all of his major organs, and then he somehow lives. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I know that they stabbed Dewey back in the day, like in the back, like multiple times, but it's like that he still had a really bad limp for the rest of the movies, and like he really played into it. Like I kind of thought, I don't know, it seemed a bit much, so I thought maybe they were doing that here, but thankfully he was stopped because I was like, if he'd got one more hit in, I think she would have been dead.
Yeah.
It was dark, and I agree. Like, what a jarring thing to go back to, because that fight scene with her and with Grace and the ex-girlfriend is like my favorite part of the whole
it's
movie.
so funny.
And like the fact, like first off, like the ex is like I'm like fucking like, hey bitch, and like fucking fires the rocket launcher the wrong way, and I was like, that was so great. Like, what a great fucking gag. So goddamn good, and something I would do if I was ever trying to fire a weapon. Like, and she's like, God damn it. 'Cause I was like, yeah, I guess that thing's just good for one hit, right? Then you're like, well, fuck. And then the fact that like they both get the mace on each other, and so they can't see shit. And I think the best part of it that got the biggest laugh from me was when Catherine Newton, Faith, I guess was her name. She's like, when she's like, oh yeah, my sister's gone. She's probably getting help right now. And it's like goes back and she's just like fucking striking blind, like can't see shit. And I was like, so fucking good. It was a really great. There was so many hilarious moments in this movie. I like just consistently that I was like, this just felt on par with how funny I thought the first movie was too.
Yeah, like it's so good. And
And it
cast,
delivered in a way that like you expected this one to be funny, whereas I wasn't sure in the first one that it was going to be funny at all. I had no idea what I was going
the
into.
first one,
But
the
this one
first one,
delivers, I think.
the first one will always have the surprise factor,
Exactly.
you know.
It's hard to capture that.
And I did like in this one how they didn't try to like do that again. Like they didn't try to be like super secretive about a ton of stuff. Like there's some like really the final sequence that like that's like the twist, but it's like that wasn't like what I was looking for, and so it worked for me. I really liked it. But I like that this movie is just very just like, you know what you're watching. Like let's just get into it. And I mean, first off, great decision for them to kick it off right where the first one ends.
I was just about to say, one of my things that I enjoy, I don't necessarily always look for it with a sequel, but because we're talking about this now, I love when a sequel kicks off immediately, this like right after the previous one. I think that's just like, it just hits different. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hate when people say that just hits different, but like it really does. It feels like it's just a little extra cozy to me or something. I really enjoyed that in the movie because I'm like, oh, it's like no time has passed. We're right back here.
Well, yeah, and the way they did it was so good. Like I kept wondering, like, did they just totally recreate the ending, or like did they play the final sequence and then like, I don't know, cleverly cut it to, you know, when she collapses? But
I feel like
it looked exactly the same.
Yeah. I know they did reshoots for like that scene. So like they definitely did part of it, but I don't know like where it starts and ends or like how they edited it together. But they definitely did reshoot part of it. And it was insane because it's like, yeah, with how many years it's been, like I can't believe it's been what, 7 years?
Yeah.
Since that 8 years probably since they filmed it. And she looks like she hasn't aged a day. So it's perfect.
Yeah.
And like honestly, it's like a superhero costume seeing her back in that outfit again. So I'm just like, it's so great. Like it was exactly the right way to start the movie. But one of my favorite things throughout this whole movie that I thought was cool, because like they add in this whole sister thing and the whole sister relationship, which is funny because we'll talk about that with They Will Kill You. And that's another big element of that one. But like this one, it really works here because they're able to spend more time with it. The actors, I think, also have just insane chemistry. Her and Catherine Newton are so good together.
Unbelievable.
They need to do a
chemistry.
franchise together of any sort. Just do multiple movies. Their new buddy comedies, like these two. That's all I need. As sisters taking on the universe, I don't care what it is.
Oh,
but please.
I want to pause real quick to ask you a question. This is top of the head. If they do a third one, fuck it. Let's bring another sister in.
Yeah, and her name's Hope.
But who's gonna play her? I got one that popped in my head. I think it
All
would work because they look like sisters. Bring in Elle Fanning.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
Like,
Yeah,
Elle
she would be
Fanning's
great.
having her moment right now. So like,
Yeah.
just bring
She
her
would
in.
be so good, honestly, and she would be funny. She could be really funny. She'd be able to keep up with like the sense of humor here. Plus, I'm all for a third one. I mean, just please, can we have more of these? But I thought that like the sister relationship between Grace and Faith, which I love the brother when he's like fucking Irish Catholic. It was so funny. That's why I'm like, oh, if they have a sister, they gotta call her Hope, right? If there's a third one that pops up, would be hilarious. They could do it, keep going with these, but
Yeah.
it would just be a funny little bit. But I was like, I like the contrast of their relationship where they're like estranged and they hate each other at the beginning to like they're coming back together and being stronger as sisters and being there for each other throughout the movie versus like Ursula and Titus having like a pretty big role compared to like any of the I guess like villains from the first movie. Like you're like, oh, like they didn't really get a ton of screen time. They get a little bit, but it's like I feel
Like-
like those two got the most out of everybody in the whole movie outside of like the main two girls, right? Because it's like
Yeah.
they parallel the relationship in a totally the opposite way, where it's like they started kind of thick as thieves, like supposedly, and then by the end, it's like literally they kill like each other.
Yeah.
Or they like under try to backstab and then one kills the other one, so it's like it's just a perfect like opposite dark mirror version, and I really thought that just like added a nice like kind of thing to the movie, I guess. Like I don't know, I really maybe that was just how they had to get like Sarah Michelle Gellar and what's his face to have more screen time, but hey, I fucking loved it because they were great together, and like he really was like I loved seeing the way that she was like, oh fuck, like she was trying to put her
Yeah.
foot down and he was like fucking finally learning something.
Well, yeah,
And
and it's
being a little scary.
and they did a really good job of like, playing. They kind of played that stereotypical brother sister relationship, but then there's the very serious thing of like, okay, so who actually is going to have the power?
And you see like little elements of it like throughout, and you're like, when this comes to a head, it's gonna be ugly. Like
Yeah.
that's all we know. And it is. And I love it. And it's like even when Sarah Michelle Gellar's like, oh, I never wanted to hurt you. It's like, oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I've heard that before, bitch. I just love it. It's like, go ahead, try to get me on your side. Like, not gonna. Although, like, they've all said how cool it was that like she was literally Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She like staked Samara Weaving almost in the heart with the
Yeah.
stake in the movie, and I was like, that's obviously intentional. But
I-
sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was going to say, I was also just so happy with how seamless Catherine Newton just fit
Oh,
into
yeah.
this role. Like, because first off, we get another Abigail crossover with Kevin Durant.
Yes,
Who-
briefly. I loved him in him and Catherine Newton together in Abigail were so cute.
Yeah, and
Their little
he-
friendship.
and he's so good in the hospital scene of just kind of like quickly catching Catherine Newton up to this whole crazy world. And when he blows up on her and she gets her screaming what the fuck moment, like she nails it. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
she's in, let's do this.
Yeah. She really like just jumps right in and feels right at home. And you're absolutely right. Like I was like, that's what I was like, we could get these could be my new superhero movies. We get 10 more of these. We got to bring in more chicks to help deal with this shit. I don't know how it works, but let's do it.
I mean, I don't
There's probably not a ton that we can get the best of the cream of the crop. This will be like the new Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We'll just take it over and make it about killing rich assholes. That sounds pretty great.
I mean, I don't know how they're gonna top the laundry machine scene.
Oh, that was like, okay, yeah, like some of the kills in this movie were pretty. I mean, there was great kills in the first one and like unexpected moments where you're like, oh shit. But like this one really takes the cake, I think, because there's a lot of good ones, but like the first one really is the washing machine, and that's the one that like they released a clip of it online, and I was just like, this is incredible that like
Yeah.
this is the clip they're releasing. What does that mean? But like that was a really unique way to kill somebody that I had not thought about. Was
Yeah.
like the power washing machine. Is that what that was?
It's like a steamer sort of
Yeah.
thing.
So it's like he like basically melted. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, like that was really disgusting and just like very funny too. The way that they're like, oh, like just trying to, oh, you might have a phone, like just so good. And that one was like outside of like the like most people get blown up a lot, but that one really stood out to me as like this is what we're starting off with. Holy shit.
Yeah, I think the first movie is more, I want to say like more violent
Yeah,
because like there's
they
so
don't all
many,
blow up until the very very end.
yeah, like there's so many scenes of like Samara Weaving just like being thrown around and like the pig pit or the goat pit or whatever it
Dude,
is.
that whole sequence
And
is
like
pretty
that,
good. Yeah,
like the first one was more like gruesome, or like
Mhm.
when she's trying to fit through the gate and she's just getting like ripped from it.
Yeah,
And this one, it's I would say it's like a little more action packed, like,
yeah.
and which,
She gets like some stuff like shrapnel and shit, and like fucking like
yeah,
giant things, like or like she's got to pull things out of her, and she's just a beast about it because she's like, yeah, been through it, and I
well,
just love it. Like,
that's one of the
damn,
things that is very good about this movie, and that like Samara Weaving is a seasoned veteran at this point. Like in the first movie, she's just trying to survive. Like she's
she
just
is
trying
like
to
off
get through
guard.
this
Yeah,
awful thing. And this one, she's just jaded. She's just like, fucking again. Like, okay,
throughout
let's
the like later in the movie when she's like fucking got the shotgun and the shells for real this time, and she's like humming the now
Right.
let's play
Yeah.
hide and seek,
Hide and
like
seek.
yeah, she's like fucking humming the song that they played to hunt her in the first movie, and I was like, the hunter or the hunted has become the hunter, and this
Yeah.
is exactly what I want to see. I really want like a crossover movie with like You're Next, and like I just think like the chick from that movie
Yeah.
and like whatever she's got to deal with to get out of like probably being sent to prison. Both of these chicks got to be like them against the world. I'd watch all of them. But like this is the kind of shit that you're just like, yeah, now she's like ready. Like, would you put on her wedding dress and fucking Chuck Taylor's again? She's like, this is my like war outfit. Like, I'm
Yeah.
fucking, let's go. And I was just like, hell yes.
Yeah.
Also, I really enjoyed all the little tiny rules throughout of like, oh, the members of the different families can't kill each other, or else like your whole entire bloodline is punished.
So let's talk
Elijah
about the
Wood.
rules and talk about Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
Elijah Wood is just amazing in everything that he does, but he is so good in this movie at just being so involved with everything that's going on, but so detached from from any consequences. Like he does not care about any of these families. He's like, I'm just reading the rules. Like I feel like he's a perfect lawyer. Like he's like, I'm
Oh,
here to do the
100%.
job, and I don't care how you feel about it because
He
you have to deal with
enjoys
the
it a little bit, though.
consequences.
Like that's the thing. You could tell he like enjoys himself. And like when things happen that are like unprecedented, he's like, I mean, I don't know. Like it's like he's even like kind of smiling, like, wow, that's
Like at
something
the
I've
like
never
at the
seen
end,
before.
he's like, the rules are pretty vague, and this
No one's
is
ever
something-
turned down this kind of power.
Yeah.
He's just so delightful when he plays either evil, like pure evil, or like just like a total asshole, which is like this guy, where he's just like, you're not necessarily the most evil person in the room, but like you're the fucking lawyer to the most evil person in the room. So
You
that makes
represent
you,
the most
yeah.
evil person in the room.
Or is he secretly Mr. LaBelle? That was my other question.
Ooh.
Is he Mr. LaBelle? I couldn't tell because I was like, how the fuck does Mr. LaBelle hire a goddamn lawyer? I don't know. That's my question. Or does it just come with the territory? Like just as soon as he's like of age and he's like practicing law one day and he's ready, they're like just like he gets a message from God or Satan, I guess. He's like, hey, report to work tomorrow. Now you're mine. Like that's just how it works. I don't know. But
But
either way.
yeah, that's one thing that I do like in this. Like the first one, there's not really any rules. There's one rule, like survive. And then this
Yeah.
one, since they're expanding this whole world, they do a good job of like, no, we actually do have to have rules. because
The
this is
giant book. I'm like, I'd love to see what else is in there.
yeah, it's like you have the rule of like high council members can't kill each other.
Yep.
Uh,
And you get to see what happens when they
if
all
if
explode.
if someone dies, then the next person in line has
Has
to
to,
step up.
yeah.
And then you have that one little bitch who's like transfers the responsibility to his wife.
Yeah.
And then
So
she's
good.
just like pissed and she just leaves. And then he's just like, you have nothing because you bequeathed it to.
Yeah. So he can't do shit. It was so good. And then at the end, I love how he pops up. He's like, "Hey, I'm okay. I guess it didn't." And then he like explodes. It's like, of course.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, yeah, of course. And they actually, I think they did mention that they filmed the scene of the wife exploding in the car or something, but like they
Oh,
didn't.
yeah.
They didn't actually.
That was
show
one thing
it,
I
'cause-
thought. It was like, so she's just driving somewhere and just explodes.
Yeah.
That would have been a really good like post-credit scene.
I was wondering that too. I watched the end of the credits, nothing, but I was like kind of hoping for something like that because I thought it would have been pretty funny. But I guess they said too, I think the Radio Silence were saying that they originally had like a post-credit scene on the first movie that was like the high council members talking about how this affects things and changes things because the Lodomas are no more. And so I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So this was kind of already the idea that they had, but I guess they were separately working on a story about sisters with Samara Weaving and Catherine Newton. And then the studio was like, let's do Ready or Not 2. And then they combined the ideas. And I was like, that's pretty cool that worked out really well. Because like in
Yeah.
the first movie, Grace is like, I have no family. You're in my new family. But I like that it's like, well, you're a fucking liar, bitch. No, it's more like it adds a really cool element of like there's like more to it, just adds more to Grace than we already like knew about her.
Yeah.
It makes her a little bit more complicated, which I like.
Yeah. Also, I liked the consistency of each of these movies they always have to have an asshole kid.
Oh yeah. And he has to get punched in the face.
Yeah.
Do you think that I know obviously the ending of this movie is never like I don't think it could ever be as iconic as the ending of the first movie because it's just like we said, the element of surprise and just like never seen it before. But I like her and the like Catherine Newton and Samara Weaving in like especially Samara Weaving in that black wedding gown, which is what I want for myself. But walking out with the goat, I was like, that is pretty. It's a great image. It's not going to be the same as her sitting there smoking and saying in-laws covered in blood when the house is burning behind her. But like, that's a pretty great like ending image. What do you think?
It's a great one. I mean, I was going to ask you, does this supplant or does this replace Winona Ryder and Beetlejuice for the Goth Bride?
Ooh, I don't know. Like that's a good question.
Like,
I mean, this is
she
more
looks
of the
incredible.
Yeah, I will say like with the blonde hair, the all black really works. But with Winona Ryder, because she's so pale and has the black hair already, the red is perfect. Like so if it's my look, I'm going all black too, like Samara. And this is like I feel like I'm like I would when she tells everyone like get on your knees and the goat gets on its knees first before anyone. I don't know if you noticed this, but the goat like immediately gets on its knees. So funny, but I heard that they said that was not like on purpose. It was improv, and they're like, that's just he responded to her power. He's like, she's just a queen. I will do whatever she says. Like when she's get on your knees, like to everyone, he just the goat immediately goes down. It's so cute. You got to rewatch it if you didn't catch it before, but yeah, the ending too with all of them exploding, I think, was just a delight in the goat pit and like fighting over it as they like cut to that like kind of like image. It was just really, really good shit.
I was actually really impressed with the whole marrying into the High Council is a loophole.
Yeah,
because I was like, oh, you guys really thought this through, because like
that was a fun little trick.
You didn't necessarily need to do it. I think I'm glad they did it because it made it better. But yeah, like the Asian woman, she's like, I had all my lawyers look at everything. We found a loophole, and she like tries to get them to do it. And then I love that Samara Weaving gets her to kill the other guy, and so both their bloodlines are just dead. But yeah, then like the whole sequence of like them her agreeing to get married to save Faith, and then like the walk up, the lead up, and the Hail Satan and
All of the Hail
the oaths
Satans.
and stuff. Like I thought it was really good, and I kept wondering, I was like, how's this gonna play out? You know, like
Mm-hmm.
Grace has to live, you know, so like what's gonna be, and I love the fact that Titus killing Ursula and like
Yeah.
stating another loophole, and
That
then
like you can kill your own family, you just can't kill another family in the High Council. Which also, I guess, like, because she didn't know from the beginning. I don't think Grace heard that they had killed their own father.
yeah,
Like at the very beginning, which is David Cronenberg, by the way, the famous director. That's their
nice.
dad. Yeah. um, he like, so when they do that, like she doesn't know that, right? So like
Yeah.
when she sees that he kills her and it's fine, I love that when she's like, when she says that to him. And then I love that she also lets Faith get the extra like push and get the final word in. Just a great moment, since he like, we were like, he's gonna fucking kill her, what the fuck.
Yeah.
So she really needed that moment. And then the fact that they all just go crazy, like animals jumping on top of it for the ring,
Yeah.
was great. In the way that she can like just remove herself and then let them all fight over it, because she knows that no, like with the little time they have left, no one is going to like actually get that ring on their
Yeah.
finger and like have it there secured by dawn or
Yeah.
whenever. And I just thought that like whole ending is so good. In that, like, again, I wasn't expecting that to be how they got them both out of it, and I loved it. I thought it was very unexpected, but it also still leaves room for a third one, because Mr. LaBelle, like he said, is not going to be happy if that happens, and all of them exploding. And now he's lost a lot of fucking contracts and souls, I would imagine.
Yeah. Which
Is that like, I mean, I imagine like maybe he's coming after Grace, like, hey, you need to bring me some souls or I'm going to take yours. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
I
just
felt-
thinking here, maybe that's Jack Sparrow, Davy Jones talking, but
I mean, I feel like that's a good segue into how do we make this a trilogy? What's the story? I did want to shout out real quick though. I was really happy, kind of what I was saying earlier, of like the movie doesn't try to like surprise you the same way the first one did. Like the ending of the first one with them all exploding was so shocking and hilarious. I love that they
even
didn't
if
try to do
we
that here.
all thought that it was gonna end
Yeah.
like they're all gonna die, it was like, okay, well, they're all just gonna drop dead, like what
Yeah.
Faith guessed at the beginning. Not that they would explode like that. That was so extra
Yeah.
and amazing.
So like when they started fighting for the ring and they all were in the pit, I started getting excited of like, so is there just going to be a fountain of blood? And there was, and it was
It's so
great.
good.
And then they bring in that last guy to get that final splatter of blood all over the main people. Radio silence always just plasters their people in blood. So you got to end on that.
Honestly, if I'm starring in a horror film and I'm not covered in blood head to toe by the end, I've done something wrong. I haven't done, either I died early or I like didn't show up to the party and get killed, and that's not who I want to be in a movie. I survived hopefully to the end, but even if I didn't, I want to be covered in blood. That's all I know. And this movie really delivers that. As long as Samara Weaving and now Catherine Newton end up covered in blood head to toe at the end of each of these movies, that's going to be good enough for me. But I think this movie, just like I was expecting a lot. I feel like all of us works. We like we like love the unexpected greatness of the original. So the fact that this movie delivers and gives you more of the same, but also like new stuff and expands and gives you something that's not just like a regurgitation of here's what you liked before.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a lazy sequel.
No, this feels like universe building. Like maybe we can get more of this. Like keep going. I'm all in on this franchise. Ready or not, I'm still fucking ready.
So
I'm always ready.
Do you have any ideas for kind of
a third
loosely what the plot could be for a third one?
Outside of the third sister named Hope, and
I was gonna ask you, canonically, is the mom dead? Is the mom around?
I would assume so because they were both in foster care, so their parents are dead. Unless we got a secret mom. Who are you thinking?
Or she was abandoned, or they abandoned her kids, or maybe abandoned's not the right word. young mother that.
Who are you thinking, actors wise?
For a mom?
Yeah, is that why you said that?
No, I was just kind of
Oh,
thinking
okay.
out
I was
loud.
like, who are you thinking of? Throw me some names. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways, but I think like if we always reveal a new secret family member, that could be a fun bit. But also, I just want to make sure that no matter what, Elijah Wood is a major character and like feature in
Yeah,
it.
I
He
feel
has
like
to be.
with everyone dead, like I feel like the third one, yeah, it has to center around Elijah Wood. And they can't like introduce new families because then that gets repetitive. So I feel like the third one would the plot would almost have to be like Elijah Wood coming up to them and being like, so you followed the rules, but there is a debt that was being paid by these families, and you are now responsible for that debt or something. Like you kind of like you were saying, like them having to get new deals for Mr. LaBelle or something like that. And then them figuring
I
out
like
like
that.
how do we stop this? Like
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to do this, but like we kind of have to because we're responsible, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because
Could be interesting.
she left the High Council, but I don't know. The terms and conditions could be pretty vague on that subject.
I didn't read that giant ass book, but I bet you Elijah Wood has. Either that or he is Mr. LaBelle and he knows him like fucking literally in the back of his head. But I just want to see him in more crazy, weird satanic robes shouting crazy shit in Latin because that is good stuff. And Elijah Wood doesn't do it enough. And I think he should. He looks good doing it, don't you think?
Oh, looks great. That hat, I don't know if it's a hat or a headdress, but it's
He
like a
rocks it.
dragon. Looks great.
All right, well let's change gears then and you want to talk about a totally different movie that has a lot of similar story beats, but it also should have just been marketed separately and at a totally different time. Let's talk about it. Do you want to tell us what we're going to
Yeah,
transition to?
let's take a quick break and then get into They Will Kill You.
The Virgil was built in 1923. Today, it's one of the most exclusive buildings in Manhattan.
Hi, I'm the new maid.
With such wealth comes the expectation of the highest quality of service. It's a lot of lux.
This building is a temple to Satan. Each month we must pay with a human sacrifice. Tonight, you are the offering. Gotcha.
You little shit! There has to be a way out of here.
The building was designed to be a death trap.
Our offering is on the loose. Be on the lookout. I just dropped her picture in the group chat.
Fuck you.
No, fuck you.
No, bitch. Fuck you.
Fuck you!
I don't know what is going on in here. But Ray, I am in a forgiving mood. Who the fuck are you?
Where did you learn how to fight like that?
Prison.
All right, let's talk about They Will Kill You, which I remember seeing the trailer for this, and I thought it looked really fun, and I texted it to you, and I said, "Hey, this gives Ready or Not vibes," and so it looks really fun. And then I was really disappointed to see that they planned on releasing it the week after Ready or Not 2, because I'm just like, that's way too much of this
Yeah.
kind of vibe,
Shot
back to
themselves straight
back.
in the foot with that, don't you think? I mean, it's like, why? I mean, someone pointed out online, and I think I remembered that Ready or Not like they moved the release date a couple times, and I think like closer to when it premiered, they moved it up again, so it was like right before They Will Kill You, but I want to say it was maybe like a month like after originally. So, but still, I don't care if that's the case. Fucking They Will Kill You should have pivoted on their end, because let's either not make money with this movie or stow it, save it, and use it at a time where we will be like distanced from this and not like just, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like totally gets forgotten if you release it right after Ready or Not 2, which is a sequel. It already has the written name recognition, so you just can't compete. Plus, the trailer looks exactly the same.
Yeah. Like it was a bummer, because like I love these fun movies like this.
Yeah, I'm down
But
for more of these, but like two at the same time feels like somebody fucked up.
yeah,
Did somebody get fired over this? I wonder.
like it's more annoying, because it's like, oh man, this movie, I mean, first off, it didn't do well. It didn't even make its budget back.
I
So
mean, yeah,
we're
and
not,
did it have a bigger Did it have a bigger budget than Ready or Not 2?
I doubt it.
Okay, I'll look this up while you tell me what you were going to say.
This was $20 million, and I think Ready or Not 2 was I think it was like 40 million. It was way more than the first one.
Oh, it says the budget was 14 million.
Okay. 14. Oh yeah, so this had a bigger budget.
Yeah, because
So
the original Ready or Not only had a $6 million budget.
that's
These
right.
guys
That's
are
right.
great. So
That-
were even more profitable now than.
yeah, but it's like, so this movie had a bigger budget, which is kind of crazy, because this is like
20 million?
yeah, this said IMDb says 20 million. And I see where they put the budget, because like there's some surprising names and stars in this movie. For like the director, Kirill, I'm not even going to try and say the last name. It looks Russian-ish.
It is, yeah.
Um,
Kirill Sokolov?
yeah, Sokolov.
Kirill
Yeah.
Sokolov?
Thank you for taking that bullet for me.
You're welcome.
He's a new director, so this is like, I think I saw this was like his third movie, and like, yeah, they got Zazie Beetz, Patricia Arquette, Heather Graham, Tom Felton, who I still just call Voldemort, or sorry, not
Voldemort.
Voldemort. No,
How dare you? That is Draco Malfoy. I was about to say Draco Malfoy as well, but we'll call him Tom Felton just so that he feels a little bit better in case he is listening.
but I'm going to call him Draco, because that's what's in my notes.
Every time I see him, I just think of that. It's very weird seeing him in things without Daniel Radcliffe. It's just I miss them together.
And with the beard.
Yeah, the beard is throwing me off too.
The beard looks great on him. He looks like an adult, not like a little kid anymore.
Yeah, he was great in this. He's very minor role though, like for being Tom Felton. But then again, it's like, what else is he in? I've only remember him like making a cameo in a couple things. So this is like honestly the biggest role I've seen of him since Draco Malfoy.
But yeah, like I was just surprised to see, like, I don't know if I'd say any of these people are necessarily big names anymore, but they're recognizable. Patricia Arquette is still very
definitely.
Yeah.
I think she lends a lot to this because like she's always been great, but with Severance and everything, she really like adds a lot to being in this movie. And then I would also, especially because she's like kind of the main villain face for most of it, which works because like that's what we love her for on Severance. We love to hate her. But she's great. But I think Heather Graham has recently been making some really great choices, I think, like acting wise, and she's gotten into horror a lot in the past few years. And like there's a Lovecraftian kind of horror movie from a couple years ago that she was in. And it's actually, what was it called? I was just
I think we were just talking about it yesterday.
Literally. It is, I know what it is. I've got it. Suitable Flesh. That's what it is. Totally forgot. Yeah. Suitable Flesh. And that one is another body horror movie. So I was like excited to see her in this. Probably not as surprised as maybe like if no one else has seen her do that, or like she's maybe done a couple other things more recent. I feel like that are horror themed. So I'm glad to see her like just blossoming in horror. Like what an unexpected thing. I never would have thought Heather Graham in horror films, but she was delightful in this, and like the stunt work that she did too was really fun. And also
Yeah.
her character was one of my favorites. Just like all the different versions that she kept coming back as, like the eyeball or like the little mini head, like just all these little things. She was great.
But yeah, I mean, the thing that excited me the most when I saw the trailer is I was so excited to see Zazie Beetz
In a leading role.
as the lead, because like
Yeah.
she's been in a lot of things. She's been everywhere. I feel like the first time I really like I remember her was like Deadpool 2, and I loved her as Domino.
Where her like superpower is
Is
luck.
luck. Yeah.
Yeah, she's great. And
But-
then she's Joker in
Yeah.
Joker movie.
Yep. And then
Um,
she's been in like a Black Mirror episode.
Mhm.
She was a pretty main character for a while in that show that I like, Invincible. She was a voice actor, and then she was also in Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die.
Yep.
So like she's a really good actor. I have enjoyed her in everything she's ever been in, and she's not one of those actors that has been like totally typecasted, you
Mm-mm.
know,
Yeah,
like
she's done a lot of different stuff.
like in like Joker, she's like a very like grounded, like you're the neighbor in the apartment, and then Arthur is crazy and in love with her, but like then like in Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, she's like the teacher, and
Yeah.
also grounded, but then like she can be more outrageous and kind of funny and weird. And then this movie is just like, hey, she could also be an action star like she was in Deadpool 2, where she wasn't really doing a lot of action in Deadpool 2 because it's just like things were happening around her because she's lucky.
Yeah.
But
she showed that she had some chops for that. I agree, like in Deadpool, and like being, I mean, because she still had to like move a certain way in order to like make it all worked out right. And she looked like she could handle herself with like stunts at least.
yeah.
And then for me, I think what I saw her in that really like made me go, okay, yeah, so she could lead a movie on her own was it was Jordan Peele's like revival of The Twilight Zone.
Oh yeah.
And that was
that. You bring it up all the time.
I don't love I'm saying there's a few episodes that are like really, really good, but like overall it's pretty mediocre. But she was in, I think, the finale episode of like either maybe the first season. And I really enjoyed her episode because it was like she was a writer on the show and like working with Jordan Peele and like working on a script for the Seth Rogen episode, and like those guys were in it, so she played like just like a PA or something, and then she ended up like it's like she's getting haunted by Rod Serling, the original guy from the show. It's a very cool, like very meta episode. So anyways, she kind of like has to do a lot of different stuff in that. And I thought she was great. So to see her like fully come into like her John Wick era right now is like pretty exciting. Cause I'm like, she's got the acting chops, but to see the stunt work that she does in this movie was like pretty out of control.
Yeah. And I just remembered the first place that we kind of saw this was she was on Bullet Train.
Ah, that's okay. Yep.
And she was one of the assassins.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Such a good movie. I need to rewatch that.
But yeah, so she's one of those actors that kind of just like feels like she can do it all. Like just the the types of movies that she does. It's like I want to see her just in the weirdest possible things ever. You know what she would be great in is if they ever do another Pirates of the Caribbean movie. She would be a great pirate.
Ooh, yep. I was just thinking I could see her as a fucking swashbuckler for sure.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah. I would be totally down. She should definitely jump on that. They really need her there because those are like perfect movies if you're like great with stunt work and also you need to be able to act and be fun.
Yeah. And this movie, she also we've talked about it before with me and my taste in the aesthetic. I love big hair, and her hair is incredible in this movie.
It really is. It's so gorgeous, and she just rocks it. And it was amazing. All like her, like she looks great in this movie. Like I've always thought, like, oh, she's hot, and she's like a beautiful person. Like she's beautiful, she's hot, like she looks great. But like this movie, I was like a first fight scene in her little undies. I'm like, this bitch is fucking sexy, right? I was like, damn.
You're like when she puts the pants on after that fight scene.
Yeah,
you're
like,
oh,
come on. Do you need 'em? Yeah, we don't need the pants. Come on. Those are just gonna drag you down. My favorite thing about like her incredible like fucking fight skills in this movie is definitely the fact that I told Nolan, I was like, I could go to prison for 10 years, 20 years, and never come out with those fighting skills. I
She
don't
was
care
in
how
prison
many,
for 1 year.
whatever.
And
I'm
she
just
got
saying.
those skills.
That's what I'm saying. Like this, like, but it's like 10 years later from like the flashback right at the beginning. This is like when this is. So I made the thing of like, even if I was in prison for a full 10 years.
Oh, wait, you're right. She was in prison for 10 years.
Yeah.
Not
And I'm
1
like,
year.
no, if I was in there for the full 10 years like her, or even for double that time, there's no way in hell I'm coming out with those fighting skills. I don't care if I fight every day. She's got to have a natural like proclivity for violence and fighting, because I feel like now you be in prison for a long time, but like unless you're in the prison with like the best fighters on planet Earth, like how are you going to be that good? Like she fights against Satan in this movie, and I'm like, just prison people, like people in prison are supposedly like they can keep up with Satan. I don't know.
Yeah, the only way I would get through 10 years of prison, I would become the best bitch on the planet. Like that's the only way I would survive. Yeah. Like I would become a pet for a certain gang, and I would just get thrown around, and
smart. You're crank.
And then they would protect me because I'm that good. They're like, this guy, we can fuck this guy. You guys can't.
Yeah.
But...
yeah. He's ours. He's our fucking pet. We put him on the leash. You don't get to do that. He's our gimp.
I would become the gold currency of the prison system.
Oh boy, I really hope that this happens for you. It sounds like your dreams would come true.
I'm a survivor. It's not enjoying. I'm a survivor.
Don't fucking Destiny's Child me right now.
I ain't gonna give up. Ain't gonna stop her. I'm gonna work harder. Okay.
Okay. That's just the whole rest of this. We're doing the rest of the song now.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But yes.
But
back
anyway,
to that. I was just saying, I thought it was funny because I was like, man, this bitch is good. Like she learned all that in prison. She must have had good fucking prisoners in there.
But yeah, the thing that I was very, very happy with is like when I watched the trailer, I was like, okay, this is gonna be a Ready or Not copy, but it's gonna be fun, I think. And then watching, I was like, I don't think this movie is actually really like a horror movie. This is way more action than horror. And I was like, this is a lot more like Kill Bill with supernatural shit going on.
Oh, absolutely.
Which I was really happy with, because
it honestly felt like those two things fit together well because of the vibe of the Kill Bill stuff is like also it's extra. And I knew it was Kill Bill vibes the minute that like the head gets chopped off and you see the blood. The blood red spray. And I'm like, all right, that's like Tarantino coded all over the place. So I figured that was the vibe. And then even like the music kicking in too.
Yeah.
It just felt like very like Kill Bill or like even Django a little bit with like kind of some of the
needle
fight
drops.
scenes. Yeah, exactly. But I love that. And I think you're right that it looks like from just I rewatched the trailer as well. And I was like, wow. I mean, I don't know how else you would have marketed this movie, but maybe just like if they would have done it in October or even like later in the summer, just give it a few months away from Ready or Not. Because or else if you have seen that movie recently, you're like, well, this looks exactly the same. Why would I see that? Because like the plot sounds identical. We're going to sacrifice you to Satan with this cult. That's exactly what they say in the trailer.
Yeah. Like I think this movie would have done really well if it was a late summer, maybe even like end of September, first week of October release.
Yeah, like fall, exactly.
Like
totally.
It's not a horror movie, but it has enough stuff that horror fans.
It has the gore that like will bring in the horror fans,
the
and it'd
Satan
be like
cults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But like releasing it the week after Ready or Not is maybe one of the worst decisions of all time, which was why I'm mad. I'm like, I really enjoyed this movie, and like
Yeah.
I would have wanted this movie to do well, at least like be profitable. It doesn't need to be like a box office hit, but like to be successful, because like everyone in this movie is really good. The director is really good. I love the cinematography in this movie.
Yeah, really good.
Like there's a lot of just like really cool shots. Like even like the action scenes are all really well shot and like interesting in how they're
Gorgeous.
done. But even like when they're crawling through like the tunnel system and how they like go the side view, and
Yeah.
it, like there's a lot of parts of this movie that feel like a video game. And
Totally. Yeah.
and like it
Yep.
was really fun, and I'm like, God, this is a movie I wish that actually did well, rather
Yeah.
than just be this forgotten thing.
I know. I feel like if anyone gets like fucking held to the fire for this movie not doing well, it better be the fucking producers or whoever's in charge of when it gets released, because just push it. Like that's all you had to do. I don't care if Ready or Not moved up suit like at the last minute. I don't care. Just fucking push yours. Like, do you want to make this movie would have done really well, like you said, a couple months later, but also they should have done the trailer different, because I feel like the trailer kind of plays exactly like how a Ready or Not trailer would do it, versus like maybe lean into like the Tarantino vibes or something, and maybe leave a little bit more of the mystery regarding the Satanists and the cults and stuff, and maybe just lean on the action things. Because if you remove those things and kind of just focus on the action sequences in the trailer, would be amazing. You probably get a huge audience for that, and then also like you wouldn't totally alienate yourselves with like, oh, this is exactly like Ready or Not.
Yeah.
Because the Satan and the cult, it's like just don't mention those two things. Or if you mention the cult, fine. There's cults and everything. We like that's just to be expected. But like, just leave out that we worship Satan and we have a human sacrifice. That's all. Like that whole element of it. Like if we could just skip over that in the initial like previews, then I feel like this movie, even if it came out around the same time, could have done better. But like
Yeah.
they didn't do either of these things. So they didn't push it. They didn't fix the marketing. So the marketing made no sense. And if any, I hope this isn't like, oh, Zazie Beetz can't carry a movie on her own. Absolutely fucking not. That's not her fault. Same with the director. I think he's got a lot of potential. I
Mhm.
will say, after talking about Wuthering Heights last week, and I said, God, all these fucking female directed films, all the comments and negative commentary is just style over substance. That's always how it is. And remember, I was saying, like, I don't know if that ever happens to male directors.
Yeah.
Well, tell me if I'm wrong, but I kind of feel like this movie, They Will Kill You, is kind of the perfect example of like a style over substance movie made by a man.
I mean, I would say yes. The one thing I would
Not that it
slightly,
has no substance in
yeah,
any way, but like just that I would say it leans way heavier on style in this movie over like what it's really like this trying to say or
the
whatever.
plot's not that thick,
Yeah, exactly.
and that would be like the one thing where I slightly push back, because I do agree with you. It is when we talked about this before. This criticism doesn't totally apply when it comes to action movies, because we watch action movies for the style, not necessarily the substance. But like, I get what you're
Mhm.
saying. Like, people, like, I could imagine people having criticism of a movie like this, but then also saying, I love the John Wick movies. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, John Wick has incredible world building, but that's it. Like everything else in John Wick, you're not watching it for Keanu's acting. Okay. that's
Never. Nobody's ever watching anything for that. But well, yeah, I agree. I think it's funny though, because I went through reviews and like while I did see mentions of like the visuals or like how great it is and how like cool the action sequences are, but there's really not much more to it. That's really all that it goes to. That's like the extent of like this kind of criticism, but like all over the female reviews, style over substance, that exact phrase is used a lot. So
we
just
need to,
something to keep your eyes on, people. But also, I think we're just forgetting the fact that men are inherently visual creatures. So if anyone's really going to be guilty of style over substance, I feel like it's going to be men most of the time. But maybe we're just not calling it out.
yeah.
That's what I'm here to fucking correct. So anyways, I just thought that was interesting because I feel like this movie is really great. I don't get me wrong. Like I had all the reason to be like, oh, this thinks it's going to be Ready or Not. It's going to be shit. And this movie delighted me. It was so much fun and in a such different way and very unique. But like I do think like it's not like it's the most important film of all time, but like visually and all that other stuff, it comes together very well. And I'll be damned if I didn't have a fun time.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
is what I want in a movie. I love when movies surprise me, and I know you feel the same way. So like, I think this movie, talking about surprises, I don't know about you, but like the first one for me was the fact that they're immortal.
mhm.
The all the people in the cult, because I didn't know that. So like when they kill Heather Graham and like fucking not Draco Malfoy, but Tom Felton, immediately I was like, oh shit, like they're dead. That was a weird way to like get those actors and then kill them immediately. And then like, when they come back resurrected, you're like, oh fun. Okay, cool. Did that surprise you? Because that was definitely not in the trailers.
Yeah. So this is where like it kind of comes into, this was a similar experience watching this as like the first Ready or Not, because the first Ready or Not has a
Yeah.
lot of like surprises to it, and there's a lot of similarities of we kind of mentioned this when we talked about Ready or Not too. There's a lot of overlap in terms of like what the plot is. Like we have the Satanist cults, we have the sister relationship, but like when I watched the trailer, I'm like, this feels like a lot of Ready or Not. I was kind of expecting them to do a similar thing of hiding the, is the cult, is it real sort of thing. And the fact that they just like have that first fight scene, which is awesome. It's so like,
It's so good.
it just
You're
kicks
like,
it
oh,
off.
shit.
Like they don't waste any time. They
Yeah.
just start with an awesome fight of her just killing all these people. I'm like, oh, Tom Felton is really just a cameo in this movie. Heather Graham's a cameo. Like
Yeah.
all this stuff. I was like, oh shit. Okay. And
Bold
then
move. We'll see
yeah.
how that pays off. That's what I thought.
And then for
little
them,
do we know.
yeah, and then for them to have the scene of all of them walking out the door and like Tom Felton holding his head and the guy without his foot just bouncing.
And his hand, he's like holding his hand and his foot, which by the way, when that guy reaches for the gun and she does the katana and slices the hand and the foot in one singular motion, I was like, oh, that was beautiful. Now that I loved it. That was gorgeous.
Like, yeah, it was also another like great cinematography moment. That hallway has incredible cinematography moments.
Totally.
Like the one where it's like on Patricia Arquette and then it's like a fishbowl sort of lens where it like
fisheye lens.
Yeah, it goes all the way down the hallway and then around her.
Yeah.
And it's like awesome. And then for the reveal of the magic's real, like it runs down the hallway and then down to their feet. And then we just see the footless guy and then it pans up and we see everything. I was like, oh, okay. So the magic is real. There's no reveal that's going to happen. That's kind of cool. Similar to Ready or Not 2, we talked about like how they're like, we can't do this big mystery of is the magic real again. So like, let's just fucking lean into it and just do it from the beginning. It was awesome.
Yeah, I know. And I didn't expect any other like I didn't really expect a surprise out of this movie. When I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, this seems like it's gonna be the same thing. Maybe they'll have a different angle than Ready or Not, but like, 1 to 2 girls versus a cult, that sounds about the same. So then watching this one, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Like this one it's really, first off, like the fight sequences are out of this world. Like the fire axe,
Dude.
I think alone is a justifiable reason to watch this film. You know what I mean?
The fire axe scene, I'm like, that is the scene for the rest of the year that all other action movies have to top.
Yeah.
Like,
and I mean, how I
it's
don't know
awesome.
how they're gonna do it. It was incredible. Like especially when it's all dark and like that's really the only light, and it's fucking amazing. And the choreography on everything is just so, it's like the violence it hits such a right tone that I haven't really seen, I feel like, in such a laugh out loud way since like Sweeney Todd. Like when they're like, when he's that montage of killing everyone and he's throwing the bodies down and they like go head first, and like every time they hit, you and I watched that together. Every time the head hit first, it was like fucking dying of laughter. It's hard to find that right tone balance with action, especially.
Yeah.
But like this movie felt like as fucking cool as that was, I was also like, oh shit, like laughing every time she got a good hit on these people. It was fucking great. Like, and that sequence alone, I was like, this is gorgeous. I heard they had to like, there's a lot of logistical issues to get that scene to work. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm glad that they did it because they did it practically. And I'm like, it makes a difference.
Well, and the way that they even like set it up. It's not like they just have a flaming axe for the sake of a flaming axe. It's like
Yeah.
she's getting her ass kicked in the dark. And like you see that whole shot of her like trying to fight, but then people are in the dark and they just kind of run by her. And then they kick her out in the hallway and she's like, oh, alcohol, let's do it. And then they just, it's not like they turn the lights back on. Like that would be an easy thing. Let's just find a way for her to turn the lights on. She's like, no, I'm going to make a torch and I'm going to kick all these people's asses with it. It's just awesome. And that final scene of just like her kicking the table up and the guy shooting it and her just blasting through it.
So good.
And just chopping him in half and like the way you
Literally
see
all
it.
the way. I was like, holy shit. I feel like I hadn't seen something like that since like, I feel like it was one of the like Kong versus Godzilla movies. Like Kong rips something and it's just like, rip something in half. Maybe you know what I'm thinking of is from Suicide Squad. And I was thinking King Shark like rips that guy in half, just like, and you just see it like in the rain and it's like lit perfectly. And you see like the spinal cord.
Yeah.
That's the thing for me that like, I love a good, like when they rip an half and you see the spinal cord, that's always just a good moment. And this movie, I was like, damn, just the way that like she does it and then the perfect way that it just comes across. I mean, it comes apart. It was just beautiful to look at. I know that like people are probably like, you're a fucking psycho to say that's beautiful, but it was a beautiful fucking shot. And like the way that all the effects and the practical effects in this movie work just incredibly well. But it gives it that like video game feeling, like you were saying.
Yeah.
The fact that she's like, you know, making this up as she goes along, and like she obviously didn't know that they were immortal, and I love that element of it because at first you're like, she's gonna take down this whole cult, you know, like it's gonna be no problem, and then you're like, oh, they can't die, she's fucked. Like she goes from like, okay, she's got the drop on him to like, oh no, wait, we're back where we started. She really is fucked, and that's what I love is like the dynamics change because like then she has to like fucking upgrade or figure out how to get out of the situation. She punches the child straight in the face. I loved that.
Yeah.
That was like just like in Ready or Not.
The Satanist cults always have the worst children.
They do, and they're raising them to like hail Satan, like disgusting, just the worst. So I always love I do always love anyways whenever a child gets punched in the face, but especially when they really deserve it, like in one of these movies. But you know what I mean? Like it felt like she kept adapting to her scenario each time, and I really enjoyed that element of it. She was very much like thinking on her toes a lot. Like she was prepared, but then she really got her ass handed to her and wasn't fully prepared because she didn't know everything. But then she still fucking, you know, continued to make the right moves, and it felt like this could be just a straight up video game that you would accompany this movie with. It'd be so fun to play.
Well, and as I'll speak as the resident action movie expert.
Nice.
The thing that I really loved about this movie is that John Wick has really kind of defined the action movie genre since it came out, like Extraction, Nobody. They're all these like grounded is not the right word because those movies are ridiculous, but like it's guys fighting masses of other guys, and this movie was like a person fighting kind of zombies. Like you kill them and they're not dead, you got to keep killing them. And I really enjoyed the kind of being creative with the genre, not just doing Zazie Beetz killing 120 people in 90 minutes. Like it was her, like
literally, like
I could kill them, but they're not dead. How do we get through this?
Yeah, that's like such a great problem to throw into this
refreshing.
movie. Yeah, you don't get that in any other action movies. Like John Wick, it's like every guy that he takes down, like they stay down when he gets them, right? Like I mean, after he's maybe chopped all their limbs off or just killed them, whatever he does.
Yeah.
I don't watch the movies, but after that, it's like imagine if all of those guys, as soon as he was done, they just all got back up. Like that would be so much cooler. And I'm glad that they did that. They also didn't make it feel like she had so much plot armor to like get through all of this. I don't know. Maybe other people would say so, but I felt like
messed up.
Yeah, and she didn't have the full advantage other times, even when like she was trying to like load the gun with her sister, and they're like on the fucking ladder, and
Yeah.
then the guy, and she drops it, but then even the sister grabs the fucking thing and
Yeah.
like hands it to her. I was like, love this, like
And then the
teamwork.
bullet misfires. So
Yeah, I mean,
like she
it's like
just
what
throws the gun.
it's great because it's like it not everything goes right. A lot of it goes wrong, and she is at like a total disadvantage for most of it. But that's why I think it's great. And she really does get her ass handed to her. They're like, man, I don't know how she's gonna get out of this one. And once you see how many floors there are and like how many people I assume are on each floor, like fuck.
Yeah.
They could have honestly done a whole series with this because we only saw one of those other floors, right?
Yeah,
The
we saw
fucking
the
floor.
fuck floor.
But it's like if this is the other layers of like hell, that would be like all the different, it's supposed to be like Dante's Inferno, I would imagine, all the different levels. Like I want to know what's going on all the other floors. They're probably fucked up.
Well, I mean, yeah, because they said there's 9 floors.
Yeah,
in the
like the
hotel,
9
and
circles
there's
of
9
hell.
circles of hell. I couldn't remember the number. It was like, is it 9 or is it 7 circles of hell? But it's 9.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, yeah, it's a thing that's not explored that often in the action genre. And I think it's because people who like action movies are big pussies and they don't like horror movies. But like, I would watch the hell out of John Wick against a zombie army. Like, I
It's
would
like the
watch the
Raid,
hell
right?
out of that. But like, even the Raid, that's a
Regular
superhuman
guy.
martial artist killing a bunch of poverty-ridden, people
That's
living
true.
in a drug house. But
That's true.
but like, I mean, like Marvel has kind of done it, like Marvel zombies, like that's a thing. Like I would love like a big budget thing of that, because I
Yeah,
love
but these are like,
action, I love horror. Let's
yeah,
mash them up. And so this
I
movie
I
kind of
think you're
did it, and
right.
I loved it.
I hope people don't get the wrong idea that like action and horror don't go together. They can't make it work. Like, because, let's say this movie didn't do well. Fuck off. No. Again, the problem was the release. This movie is, I think you could totally do action and horror, and there's a great way to do it. And the cool thing about the zombie element in this movie is that they're actual like humans who are like killing people on the regular. So they're like badass at fighting, or hopefully most of them are
Yeah.
pretty decent at fighting compared to like not all of them, clearly. Like there's some
Yeah.
old fucking people.
The
But like
the maids are not the best at it.
exactly. And like the majority, but like there is like the usual hunters, right? So it's like there are people that can actually fight. So it's not just like a mindless zombie waking up and trying to eat you. It's like these are actual people who can fight too. So it's even more impressive, basically, is what I'm saying. But yeah, I mean, honestly, this I want more movies with Zazie Beetz beating up people. I think this could be a whole John Wick franchise for her if done right. But obviously, if this movie didn't make money, they're not going to do it. But like, give her another one.
And she's
Try it
so
again.
good at it. Like, I'm pretty
Yeah.
confident she did all the stunts in this because everyone is
Yeah.
wearing masks, and she like, unless those are really good wigs, like that's her
Yeah.
doing all of the fighting, and it's great. So, but I mean, to wrap things up, let's talk about the final fight because we
Yes.
get the pig head.
I was about to say the pig head was, so I read that in the trivia, and I was glad because that was the first thing I thought of, was it's a reference to Lord of the Flies,
Okay.
which
You've mentioned it a couple times at this point. The new Netflix series. It's
The new
also
Netflix series,
it's also a original story.
Yeah, classic novel by William Golding. But in the story, the boys on the island, the pig's head on a stick is like something from that story that they use to like symbol. It's like the symbol of the devil, the beast on the island in Lord of the Flies. So I love the fact that they had one here, like in the basement. And as soon as I saw that thing, I kid you not, I told Nolan, I go, oh my God, if that thing fucking talks and like comes to life, I'm gonna be so excited, like so happy. I was like, I really hope it does. And then once Patricia Arquette like got the blood and went up to like have it sniff it, I was like, oh fuck yeah.
Did you
This
see
is
who?
gonna be so good.
Did you see who the voice was?
No, I didn't recognize. Who was it?
It's James Remar, Dexter's dad.
No. Okay,
Yeah.
I gotta rewatch that.
It's
whole
really
entire
hard
sequence.
to tell it's him. I wouldn't have been able to tell if I didn't look at the IMDb. But like,
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Crazy. What's Dexter's fucking dad doing playing a pig? Satan, I guess, as the pig. But like, that was so cool and just made it look. I mean, it could have been so ridiculous. Obviously,
Yeah.
the idea concept sounds stupid, but like that looked fucking cool. hearing that pig fucking talk like Satan was awesome. The way that they showed Satan coming into it too,
Yeah.
like through the like freeze, like the frozen, like it
Yeah.
was fucking like, I know that's like fucking like some deep like shit from like, oh, Satan, isn't he like somewhere in frozen somewhere in the underworld or whatever. So it's like literally having to go through the ice. I was like, damn, what a detail. I read
Yeah.
someone mention that online. I don't fucking know that shit, but like,
There's been some interpretations of hell actually being a frozen wasteland rather than a fiery wasteland.
yeah, which I thought was so cool and like really unique to see that, and like not what you'd expect. Like you'd expect him coming through flames, but I saw people have mentioned that it is something like actually, has been thought of before. So I was like, that's fucking a cool
Yeah.
deep cut reference. Nobody probably notices, but I was like, I'm just all for the idea of Satan coming into this pig and talking. Like that is exactly up my alley. And
And
I was just it delivered on that, and then it really over delivered.
I was not expecting the final boss fight with the pig head. Like I was like,
On
okay,
Patricia Arquette. When
we
she
are-
puts that on, I was like, okay. Like it's sorry, it doesn't even show it. She just says, I need your help, and like
Yeah.
asks it to help her. And then she's just like struggling to get it on, and like the fucking like meat tendril tentacle
Yeah.
things wilding out. I was like, oh my God, this movie is amazing.
And like the way that it moves, it looks like Gollum just kind of like flying around. I was like, when the reveal happens that the sister sacrificed herself so that she could kill everyone, I was like, okay, that's the thing. And now we're gonna see Zazie Beetz just like slaughter all these people. And
Yeah,
that'd be
she's, like,
rapid.
healing.
But then
like,
the
that's
fact
cool.
that we get like a final boss fight, I was like, holy shit, what? This is
That's what I'm saying.
crazy. And
Yeah.
what a great way to get Patricia Arquette to be in a fight scene, like put a
Honestly, it
mask
was-
on her head and just like it was so unexpected and fun. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, I had such a blast with it.
It was so good. And then the fact, like, I mean, just her fighting with that thing on her head was so fucking funny, but also like I was like, let's fucking go. Like I was like, yeah, like this is gonna be awesome. And it was. I was also like, again, prison like training paying off that you're able to go against Satan with like fucking giant pig head. Just crazy. I was like, you didn't even have any magic moves or whatever.
Yeah.
But the fact that like then afterwards, because like before she like officially starts fighting like with her at the pig head, she like slices off the like piece of the pig's head that has her name on it so
Yeah.
that nobody else can like wipe it off, which I was like, that's a nice move.
Yeah.
That was like a smart little detail. But then like you get another reveal that like she changed it to her sister's name.
Yeah.
And she also like burns the pig's head and removes everyone else's names.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, okay, so then because this one little piece is still cut off, it still works. So I was like, damn, good thing you fucking chopped that off, because how else were you gonna bring your sister back? But
It took her sister a while to resurrect compared to everyone else. So
yeah,
but I'm not worried about that. I also
Satan
love
was busy dealing with his own fuck, like as all of them. I mean, they all didn't explode basically at the end, but
yeah.
kind of basically the same kind of general idea as Ready or Not. They're like
Yeah.
literally dissolving all the current contracts and fucking up with
Yeah.
Satan's plans. So like, if like honestly they could cross over for a sequel for these two, it would be fucking great. Satan's after both of these sister bitches.
Yeah. I mean,
know?
I also loved in that final fight sequence before the boss fight, we talked about like she learns
When she's
the-
fighting all of them.
Yeah, she's fighting. She learns. She's like, okay, how do immortals fight each other? Because
Yeah.
she's immortal and they're immortal, and it's not about killing them. It's about pinning them down and holding them up. So like the way that she strangles one guy with a chain and then hooks the other guy with the same chain, so that like they're just pitting each other against the wall.
Every
I was-
time one of them resurrects, they like immediately
Yeah.
kill the other one, and it's like just so perfect. And I was like, "This, I agree." Thank you for calling that out because I forgot that, and that was such a nice detail. I didn't fully notice. I also loved the way that they shot the chains moving and like those actions and the sounds. I was like, "This is Hellraiser."
Yeah.
reference. Like right? They're 100% referencing Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Hellraiser, fuck me. It was so good though, and 100% like so funny because I didn't realize that until like it kept cutting back to those guys, and I was like, oh, that's fucking good. Because like as soon as they're trying to get out, like, oh, dead again. Like, god damn it.
Yeah, that
Just really great. And that's, again, like you said, adapting, learning. It's like a video game. You're leveling up and you're figuring things out. Okay, cool. Yeah, these guys are just gonna respawn. So let me like fuck them up in a place where they're trapped, even if they respawn.
Yeah, and
Love
then
that shit.
when she burns the pig head, Tom Felton's like, it's just a flesh wound, and then just dies. Like it
I
was,
love that. It's like the like great last words. I was like, they had to get a British guy saying just a flesh wound,
Yeah.
like just like fucking Monty Python. They that whole sequence is just so delightful, and all of it, I think. I mean, this whole movie could just be like just fight scenes like this, and I'd be happy. But the fact that like then she did pull the switcheroo and get her sister back, I was like, okay, wait, so now she's not immortal and the sister is immortal, or are they both immortal because their names are written there together? Because like she kind of wrote her sister's name on hers.
yeah. I mean, we'll never know because this is definitely never getting a sequel.
I
But
know, never. Yeah,
I think the implication is the sister revives, and then like she like smushes the skin. So I think the implication is that she's revived, and then
nobody owes their soul to Satan anymore.
yeah, because the pig head is just a vessel. Like she didn't kill Satan, she just killed
Obviously.
the vessel.
Yeah.
But also, it wouldn't be that hard for her to wipe the name off the skin, even if that's the case, because the pig just like licked the name off.
Yeah.
When they killed the husband, who also I wanted to ask you, did you think
the husband.
did you think that was Coleman Domingo? His
No,
voice,
but his voice yeah.
sounded exactly like him. So like when I first saw him, I'm like, oh, I don't know who that is. But then like when he had the voiceover like in the tunnels, I'm like, is that Coleman Domingo, one of my favorite actors? And I just missed it. What?
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Nolan and I were like, that sounds exactly like Coleman Domingo, but I wish it was, because that guy was such a wasted character, or just wasted space. Like, what was the point of him helping and doing all that? He didn't supposedly had some coming to God moment. Get out of here.
Yeah.
If he was Coleman Domingo, I would have bought that shit in the monologue where he explained it. This guy felt like, I don't care, whatever.
Yeah,
he was kind of the only
he was there as like it was like exposition and to save Asia and keep the plot going, sort of thing.
Still, if you
like
would have had Coleman Domingo, give him the same lines, and we would have cried when.
I would have been mad that he died. I was like, yeah, kill them all.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Also, the sister, I only recognize her from that one episode of
Bodies.
No, I was gonna say the episode of Black Mirror.
Oh yeah, isn't she's also the one from Bodies, who's like the bitch?
Yes,
she's so good.
She has the long dreads in Bodies, right? Like the blonde. Does she have?
No, she's not that. She's the like she still has short hair in that one, and it's like pulled back. I think she's the one.
I only saw Bodies once, and
okay.
I was lukewarm on it, and I need to
rewatch it.
Yeah, because the ending, I was like, wait, what? But
yeah, it's like when they're like, your parents are upper middle class.
Yeah, I just remember her from Black Mirror with no eyebrows.
Yes, yeah, she's very memorable looking in that, but she's great.
That's a good episode. Yeah,
I thought she was funny in this. I like how when they're fighting, it's like, fuck you, no, fuck you, bitch, and then she just punches her out, and I was like, that would be how Bird and I would fight if I showed up to save my sister from a cult and she was doing this kind of shit. I would also knock her out and be like, all right, we're dragging the body with us. Let's go.
We do have to say, since we're talking about this and Ready or Not 2 at the same time, this is a Zazie Beetz movie, whereas Ready or Not 2, like, that is a Samara Weaving, Catherine Newton movie. Like
it's sisters. That movie has that's what I'm saying. This is style over substance for They Will Kill You. Like the sister subplot.
The relationship is not that important.
It has no emotional factor.
It's just the sprinkle of plot. Like when she sacrifices herself, I'm like, good for her.
Care. Yeah. I was like, yeah, this bitch had it coming. She was such a bitch earlier when you showed up to help her. I'd be like, and then she fucking was like, oh yeah, let me kill her. And then when she kills herself, I'd be like, well, serves you right. That's how I felt. So I would have been so upset. I can't tell you how much I would have cried if they would have killed Catherine Newton in that movie, or if she would have slit her own throat. I would have fucking lost it. So I'm gonna say, 100%. The sisters in Ready or Not 2 it like delivered everything that you'd want, and like real sister energy, and also like you said, it's equal like share for that movie. Like
Yeah.
obviously Samara Weaving is the star, but like Catherine Newton is not like just a side character. Like she's brought in
Yeah, she's
as like
in
the
she's in
co-lead,
the entire movie.
literally. So
It,
it's
it,
very
it,
different from this one.
yeah, it would be maybe slightly similar if Catherine Newton had zero involvement in any action scenes
Yeah,
in Ready or Not, but she's involved in all of them and
yeah,
gets the shit kicked out of her during one of them. Like
that's what I'm saying. She's a badass. Honestly,
I was like,
it
she
was so
better not
impressive.
die. Sean
Literally.
O'Harahy, I like you. My wife loves you. But I will make an enemy of you if you kill Catherine Newton.
You are sexy as fuck, but I swear if you hurt this woman, you will rue the day you were born. I would have done it to him too. I don't care how cute he was in The Faculty.
All right, well, that is it for our satanic cult double feature. I hope you enjoyed it because you got a little bit of horror, you got a little bit of action, and fun times all around, in my opinion.
I mean, you can never have too many satanic cult movies and, sacrifices. Honestly, that's just like, you got to keep those kinds of things in the mix on the regular exclusive.
It'll never happen, but how great would it be if we had a crossover of these two movies?
That's right. Yeah. I mean, we'll never get it because They Will Kill You did terrible. You're right. But
like, what if the pig head was in line with Elijah Wood, and then
if he represents the pig head, I'm in.
Yeah, and then
I want Elijah Wood wearing the pig head in the next movie. Let the lawyer get his hands dirty. Oh yeah.
Then we just have Zazie Beetz and Samara Weaving like competing on who's the best cult killer.
Yeah, exactly. And then Catherine Newton can probably just like kill the other sister.
Just turn Catherine Newton into like the in-movie commentary play-by-play person, and then Zazie Beetz cuts that cultist in half.
Yeah,
Samara Weaving grabs the shotgun.
No, that's what we give that to the other sister because she does nothing. She has no point. She just is nothing in the background. And if we get bored, we sacrifice her. We'll actually become the cultists. It doesn't matter. We
kill her off in the first 10 minutes for emotional depth and it's stakes.
Yeah. She needs some. Our movie's got fucking stakes, man.
We keep saying it. We need to be coming up with these plot lines. Okay.
Yeah. Give me a job, movie studios. Why is it taking so long?
We're cheaper and we have better ideas. So
exactly.
That sounds like capitalism. So let's do it. But
yeah.
Anyway, so next week we're going to talk about one of the movies that I think at the moment it's like the highest grossing movie of the year, or one of
more than Super Mario Galaxy.
Oh, I haven't checked the box office. Super Mario Galaxy probably did better.
They probably made $1 billion in a week, those motherfuckers.
Oh, just wait until the Bluey movie comes out. That movie is going to break every box office.
Bluey?
Bluey, like the kids animated show that makes adults cry. You've never heard
I
of
don't
Bluey?
Want to hear about this. No.
Dude,
I'm not going to watch it.
It's amazing. But when that movie comes out, it's going to break every box office record known to man.
Jesus.
Anyway. But anyway.
The world really is over, isn't it?
Yeah. So, Renee, tell us what we're going to be watching next week.
We're going to be watching Project Hail Mary with our boy, Ryan Gosling.
It just came to VOD, and this movie is huge. It did
it was in theaters for a long time. Like they really extended their run, I think at least once or twice, but took a bit longer to come to VOD, which is good because made it a ton of money. And I've heard they shot this film practically, so it sounds like they needed the money back.
They shot it practically, which is wild. When you watch it, it's wild. I loved it when I saw it. I'm excited to watch it again. Ryan Gosling, this is like a passion project of his. I need to double check, but I think I read that he got the rights for the movie before the book even came out. So
Nerd.
But it's the same director and writer who did The Martian. So
cool.
It is similar in that kind of
Love
vibe.
That movie.
But it does have differences, and we might have we might have a familiar face that joins us who read the book, and we can talk about the differences between the book and the movie. And
Love it. I always love to pepper our guests with questions. I'll come up with a nice list because God knows I still haven't even seen this movie, so I'm probably gonna have a lot.
I think you're gonna enjoy it. I mean, it's Ryan Gosling, doing Castaway. We get a lot of Ryan Gosling's face,
and he's in space, so that's good. That's all good things for me. I feel like this is gonna be a good one.
Like Armageddon smashed with Castaway. It's a good time. So
Beautiful.
But that's it for this week, and we'll see you next week on the regular exclusive podcast.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We out here.